Welcome everybody. Today we're having a look at the SJCAM, what is this? SJ8PRO 4K action camera. I've seen quite some positive things said about it online. So let's have a look if we'll like it. First of all, on the box we have a picture of the camera. This is the front with the lens and so on. And on the back there's a picture of what you'll see on the back of the camera. Now let's see what else is there. It says there, SJCAM Empower Your Dreams. SJ8PRO SJCAM 4K Action Camera. SJ8PRO Black. And here it says something USB Type-C, and there might have been something here, but they put a sticker on it. So we'll only know what that says if we tear off the plastic. So let's do that right now. Oh, there was also a lot of stuff on there, but it looks like it's just a lot of fine print. What's interesting there? Let's see. Alright, let me take off the plastic and we'll have a look at it. Okay, this on the side that we were wondering what it says is H22 AMBA. It looks like that's a chip or something. 12 megapixel Sony EIS. I suppose that's the image stabilizer. H.264, H.265 video formats, I imagine. USB Type-C is probably the connection to the computer. Right, let's carry on. Oh, we still wanted to see what all this says. This says package including SJ8 action camera battery, USB cable, manual, lens f2.8 FOV 170 degrees, focal length 2.8 and then something plus minus 5% millimeter, maximum resolution 4K at 60 frames per second, sensor Sony 12 mega CMOS, storage microSD HC or microSD XC memory card, power consumption 3.5 watt, input current 2 amp, input voltage 5 volt, operating temperature 0 to 45 degrees Celsius, operating humidity 15% to 90% RH, preserving temperature 20 degrees to 60 degrees Celsius. Name SJ8 Action Camera, manufacturer Shenzhen Hongfeng Century Technology Company Limited. Address, okay, that's just the address. In China, fixed line website sjcam.com. Alrighty, and then we open the box. What's in the box? Now, how do I open this box? Oh, it's a sliding box, that's why it's so difficult. Sticker there. You have to remove. Okay, and you have that little suitcase effect. Inside there is the camera. Do we have it upside down? Yes, we do. There's the camera. Let's see. Okay, the camera is nestled in this sort of tray thingy. Let's just get it out very carefully. It's sitting really tight in there. And there's the camera. That's what it looks like on the front. And on the back you have your touch screen, I suppose. Top, sides, what's that? Oh, there's something there. What is that? Oh, that's a USB. And yeah, there you can connect it to a tripod, it seems. There's something here. What's that? Oh, that's for, what is that for? The battery. There's the battery. It slides right in there. And we close it. Oh, there's the on and off switch. Okay, and what else? So there's another switch here on the top I suppose that's the start and stop. And it seems like there's the speaker also. Okay, what else do we have? Little blue cleaning cloth. Here is a little white box. What's in the white box, we wonder? That's a USB cable. I suppose that's for charging it and for transferring your video files. And a little booklet. And that's as much as is in the box. So let's just have a quick look at if there's something interesting on here. Product features, chipset, what's that? Ambarella H22S85, 2.33 inch LCD touchscreen, 0.96 inch LCD front screen. Sensor, Sony IMX377, 170 degrees 7G. Resolution 4K 3840 by 2160 at 25, 30, 50 or 60 frames per second. 4K Ultra 3840 by 2160 at 30 frames per second. And there's a lot of lower resolutions here. Audio, mic and speaker. Dual mic stereo, external mic support, storage, microSD card up to 32 GB, selected 64 GB and 128 GB. I think that's about the most important things. If we're gonna record videos with it, you can also record photos with it. 12 megapixel and so forth and forth. Product schematic diagram. Photo button, video button, power on, power off, front screen, speaker, lens, microphone. And on the rear we have mic, low power warning light, USB, working indicator light. And there's just a lot of user instructions: installing the battery, inserting the microSD card, charging, car camera mode, switching camera on and off, video recording mode, photo shooting mode, lock screen, Wi-Fi connection, and so on and so forth. Now I suppose we won't be able to use it now. It'll probably need charging. Let's just see. Yes, unfortunately it'll need charging before we can use it. So I'm gonna charge it and then we can carry on. Oh, you know what? I happen to have this power bank here. So now we don't need to charge the thing first before we can test it. I'll just plug it in and hopefully it'll work. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is USB, but just note the kind of USB it is. And we plug it in. It's not that small USB connector. Okay, and the power bank recognizes it. Will it switch on now? Not yet. Okay, but I think the battery has something on it. Oh no, it doesn't have a piece of plastic tape on it. There's where you put in your SD card, I see. For now I'll just put in the battery. And it has a little red light there indicating that it is charging. So let's just give it a few minutes. And it should be able to switch on. Alrighty! I only let it charge about half a minute, so let's see what we can do. Actually, let me just come closer to the camera for this. There seems to be the on button. We're gonna press it. Does it come on? Now, why is it not going on this time? Alrighty, I've let it charge a few minutes. Let's see if it'll go on. Now they say you must hold the on switch for 3 to 5 seconds. What do we have? Nothing yet. Alrighty, now it's been a few minutes. Let's see if it'll switch on now. Now why is it I cannot get this camera to switch on? Okay, well it seems it needs to charge a lot longer than you would think. Anyway, meanwhile, let's have a look at some more stuff. Small details. There's a little piece of plastic over the lens. Another piece of plastic over the rear. And let's see, for one last time, if it'll switch on. Nope, not switching on. I'm gonna go ahead and wait for it. And then I'll get back to you. It does have a red light on there, so it is charging, but it's not switching on when I press the power button. Alright, of course there's also this little piece of plastic here on the front. I'm not gonna take this one off. I think it can stay there to protect that little screen. Yeah. No, unfortunately it seems I cannot turn it on yet. So I'm gonna wait a bit while it's charging and then we can continue this video. Okay, you know what? I found this wall plug that we can charge it with. So I'm gonna disconnect it from this power bank and I'll just charge it at the wall outlet. I don't know if that'll charge it faster, but yeah, maybe. Let's test it one more time. Yeah. No, it seems it might need a little more charging before it will work. Welcome back. I've now let this camera charge for over 10 minutes. About 12 minutes or so. So let's see. Does it switch on? Okay. Let's just hold the switch for 3 seconds. And we get absolutely no response. I wonder if this unit is defective or if it needs to be fully charged before it will work. Yeah. No, I have absolutely no idea what's wrong now. You see there, that is the on switch. But if I press it, absolutely nothing happens. Okay, now I've let it charge quite a bit, but something else also just occurred to me. I wonder if we just reset it by taking out the battery. I think maybe we should try that. Okay, we just take out the battery, put it back in, and let's see if it'll work now. 1, 2, and it does, yeah. It played there a very soft little tune. I don't know if you heard that. As they say in the technical field, we are in. Okay, so if you ever run into this problem, you switch on your action camera, but it doesn't switch on for anything in the world, try removing the battery to reset it, and then try it again. Probably will work if the battery is charged and your camera is in working order. So, let's dig into it. Okay, sorry about the noise. It just started raining really loudly. That's what that is. Now let's have a bit of a look at what's on the screen. Okay, there we go. And let's see, what do we have here? Oh, there of course we have settings. What does it say? Language, English, Wi-Fi frequency. What must we do here? Format. Let's see, format. That formats the memory card, I assume. But yeah, that reminds me, we should put in a memory card first. So, oh, there it goes off. Oh, it seems it just went into standby. But yeah, let's put the memory card in quickly. First I'm gonna cancel and then switch it off. I have here a little memory card. Can you see it? So let's slide that in. Actually, let me take out the battery first. It's gonna be easier, I suppose. Which way around now? Okay, I think it's in there correctly. I suppose the camera will warn us if it's not in correctly. And let's turn it back on. Okay, where were we? Settings, language, format, auto power off, LCD off time, 30 seconds. I think I'm gonna want that a little bit longer, but I'll do that later. Front display on. Oh, there's a front display, you see here. Now that we're in the settings, it also has a little icon there. Not much on the front display, but anyway. What does that say? Indicator lights on, key, what is that? Keypad tone. Oh, you can turn the keypad tone on and off. Rotate, brightness, color, temperature, external microphone, date and time, gimbal control, frequency 50 Hertz, default setting. Now what did I do? I'll go back. Display ISO, user interface, classic version. I wonder what other oh, that's display ISO. I wanted to select User interface. Classic or SJCAM. Okay, we'll just stick to classic for now. But now, where do I change the frame rate and such and such? It's not format. I thought it would be format. Okay, maybe it's not at settings. Oh, I see there. You see there is something that says 4K and something something. So there we go. We click on that and then we get this 4K at 30 frames per second. And there's 60 frames per second, but at a lower resolution. But higher frame rates, of course, are good for if you want to play back the footage in slow motion later on. Oh, is that all there is? No, it can't be. Let's see if we click here. There we can change something. There we can change it from 30 frames per second to 50 frames per second to 25 frames per second. I think I'll change to 25. Actually, no. Let me change to 50. Oh no, that's 30. Well, where's that 50? Why isn't it cooperating with me? Oh, that's 60 frames per second. Yeah. No, that's even better for slow motion shots. I think I'll keep it on that. Alrighty, what else is there? Oh, there's like EV, white balance, power on record, color profile, metering mode. What is that? Yeah, metering mode it says. Metering mode, gyro stabilizer, encoding H.264, volume, sharpness, distortion correction. I suppose that's to correct the fisheye lens effect a little bit. Loop recording, file size, 5 minutes. It's set on now. Video quality, standard. I think that we can change. The options it gives us there is standard, economy and fine. I believe I want fine. ISO, audio on, timestamp. Oh, and it seems that's the end of that menu. Alrighty. So I think all that remains now is for me to take some shots with this. So I'll go and do that, and here they follow. Okay, I'm back, and behind me right now you should be seeing some footage I filmed with this SJCAM SJ8PRO 4K action camera. Now, yeah, I kinda like this camera. There are a few things I didn't like that I stumbled upon as I was using it. For one thing, turning it on, you have to press this button on the side for about, let's see, 1, 2, 3 counts before it turns on. Now, sometimes when you're really in a hurry to capture something that's happening in front of you, that can be quite tedious to have to wait for it to turn on. Because you want to like just immediately start filming before the action is gone, and yeah. So for that you sometimes needed to react a little faster than that. Now another thing I didn't like is that when you're in 4K 50 frames per second mode and also in 4K 60 frames per second mode, it doesn't have a stabilizer. Which is very, very sad, because 4K 60 frames per second mode is what you'll be using the most often. So now it doesn't have a stabilizer in that mode, so that's very sad actually. But of course you can just film it and then stabilize it afterwards in your editing program. But of course that's gonna take away a little bit of your resolution. And the 4K resolution really is a selling point of this camera. It's really sad when you have to downgrade your resolution just to stabilize the image. Another thing I didn't like quite as much is that the wide angle lens is pretty wide. It's really, really wide, which sometimes causes distortion, as you can see probably in an image behind me. It causes that fisheye lens effect where all the edges are really curved. As you can see here, I did a shot of the sea. And look at that, it's pretty difficult to get the sea to have a straight line on the horizon. Still, I must say, the video quality isn't bad. That's one thing I can say for it. The video quality is quite nice actually for a camera of this price range. And yeah, where other cameras won't play back the video you recorded because the memory card isn't fast enough, as some cameras will claim. With this one, that's not a problem, it seems. If you have a class 10 flash card in it, then it works fine. I think I also might show you this function here. You see here is a plus and minus on the screen. That's actually a zoom. Now it is a digital zoom, so unfortunately if you like the 4K quality, it's not gonna remain in 4K if you zoom in and out with these buttons. Actually, if you zoom in, I mean. But yeah, if you don't like that extreme fisheye effect, then maybe you can zoom in a little bit and your picture will look a little bit more normal. But yeah, me personally don't use the digital zoom because you can do that in post with your editing program. I also just want to say the images you're looking at were recorded in 4K 60 frames per second, and they were just handheld like this. I didn't put them on a gimbal or anything like that. So that's why most of them aren't that stable, because as I said, in 4K 60 frames per second the stabilizer function doesn't work. And also, as it's in 60 frames per second, this video you're watching now is not in 60 frames per second. So obviously there might be a little bit of a, what shall we call it? It might look like there's something wrong with the smooth motion. But I can assure you the motion actually is very smooth if you record in 4K 60 frames per second. And you play it back on a computer in 4K 60 frames per second. Of course, the refresh rate of your screen must also be 60 frames per second, or let's say 60 Hertz. Then you get really smooth video. I was very happy with that when I watched it on my computer and I saw the very smooth motion of the 60 frames per second mode. Anyway, yeah, not a bad camera. I'll probably use it mostly just set up on a tripod or something for stable shots. I wouldn't really use it for shots that I'm walking around blogging or something like that, because yeah, it doesn't have a stabilizer. So it will probably do best if you just use it as a second camera or something that basically just stands still where it is. Also, just remember, whenever you're vlogging by hand, don't put your fingers over the microphone holes. I think on this camera it's there. I don't even really know. Yeah, it must be there on the side, I think. So obviously if you're holding it like this, or holding it like this, or holding it like this, or however you're holding it, just make sure you don't close up the microphone holes, because otherwise your sound is gonna be muffled or you're not gonna hear sound. So just make sure your microphone is open and is recording the sound well. Alrighty, yep, that's as much as I'm gonna tell you about this camera. Please hit the like and the subscribe right now.